If you're arrested in Canada for drunk driving, you lose your license. Costs you a lot of money. Potential jail sentence. But in one municipality, they've decided that if you drunk drive and you're caught, not only will all of those things happen, when you enter the car, you'll be forced to listen to Nickelback.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. How did our eyes get so red? And what the hell is on Joey's head?
I don't know why they would do that, first of all, to themselves, because they're going to have to endure it as well. And people have complained. And their answer is, don't drink and drive, and you won't have to listen to Nickelback. I think it's pretty.
Photograph. Every time.
I couldn't even imagine what it's like to have to endure that. But that's what they're making people do up there. They're making them listen to Nickelback. And look
at this photograph. Every time I do.
I was just going to say Chad Kroger's band.
Look at this photograph.
Avril Lavigne's ex-husband.
Look at this photograph.
Look, they're good sports. They know that they're the butt of many jokes, right? They get that. But that is pretty cruel and unusual. And so we got to thinking, and we found this great article about the bands that people hate the most, the 15 bands that people hate the most over the last 30 years. Now, I agree with a good portion of them. A lot of it has to do with fans, too. Like, the fans are annoying, because the fans are annoying, But one of the first ones that came up, and this is one of those bands where you thought they probably were good at one time, but because they had that hit, it just outshined everything, and they got stuck being that band. And that band is Semisonic.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the lights on over every boy.
Yeah, it is a... you know what? I didn't think they were that bad, but I get it. And you know what? You get pigeonholed as that band. And no matter what you do, it's like you have to open it. Like you open the concert with Closing Time and you close it because it's your only hit. That's it. Nobody wants to hear you do anything else. You could just be that band that shows up and does that. Some of the other bands on here, we're going to get to a lot of them. Dave Matthews Band has been voted one of the worst. And yeah. Little mashup there. I think it's more Dave Matthews Fan that annoys me. He's okay, but he's kind of the same. He's just, is
he like the thinking man's John Mayer?
Exactly. That's what, what it is? He's the hipper, cooler John Mayer. Like John Mayer is like, let's be real. John Mayer is a rock star for one reason, to get chicks. There is no other reason. John Mayer doesn't care about music. He doesn't care about anything he plays. He's not an artist. He's a chick mag. He's there to crush it. That's it. That's all he's there to. He's there to crush. So the other bands on here, let's see. You know what? They put Blink-182 on it, and I don't like that because I think Blink-182 is awesome. I like Blink-182. I do. Look, are they artists? No, but they're fun. And I think there's a lot worse out there. But we're going to run through a few of these, and some of these I think you'll agree with. And some of it just has to be they had that song. And because of that, we hate them. Chumbawamba.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna.
Tub Thumping was the name of that song. Phil, you pointed something out earlier too that I forgot about. They were anarchists. That was their whole thing. They hated commercialism and capitalism, and they were all anarchists, and they were just.
And they had this song.
They were just the worst. They were just the worst. They really were the worst. They were absolutely the worst. This, I get it. I think it's the members of the band more than it is the fans. Black Eyed Peas.
What you gonna do with all that junk inside your trunk?
I'ma get you drunk, get you love drunk off my hump, my hump, my hump.
This is just awful.
It is.
My hump, my hump, my hump.
Oh, that is the worst. That is the absolute. Somebody wrote that. Somebody sat down and thought that was a great idea. Your breast and your butt, we'll call those humps. And then that'll be that kind of like subtle humps, your lady humps. That is horrible. And people are like, that's a great song. That's my jam. That's my jam. I don't hate this band, but I understand why people do. Smash Mouth.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid. And all that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the.
I don't hate them, but I get it. I understand. There's a lot of backlash of that. You know, it's like, why is Uncle Cracker not on here? He seemed kind of annoying. This band, Phil was in, and then I was in, and then Anthony was in, and then we started our own band, and we called ourselves Two Direction. This band, though, was called 98 Degrees.
You're my sunshine after the rain. You're the cure against my fear and my pain.
All these boy bands sound the same.
They do.
My mind when you're
And you know what's funny? If you go back to the like late 80s, early 90s, all of these boy bands sound the same. Like Take That sounds just like this. And, you know, they all kind of sounded the same. It's not that hard. You put a beat in a good song, and then you sing like this and dance and it's not that hard.
Yeah, but all
It's
the beats sounded the same. All the drums had that just compressed electronic sound to them.
Because they were exactly what they were, which was a pop machine. That's it. You just like, you go over and you're like, okay, give us cut 8. What is it? I don't know. They all sound the same. That doesn't sound the same. All right, we're going to do it this way. This is the way we're going to do this. Now, these are the 3 worst bands, and I agree with all 3 of these. The last one is Douchapalooza. But these other 2 bands are the kind of bands where you're forced to listen to by your friends. And because you're forced to listen to, you have to like them, or else, like, you have to like Breaking Bad. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. You have to like The Wire. It's the best show on television ever, ever, ever. Let's start with Lana Del Boring. Right.
Take me to the finish line. All my heart, it breaks every step that I take. But I'm hoping at the gates they'll tell
Sounds like
me
something you'd play when you want to cut yourself. I'm going to put her right next to my Fiona Apple. This is the band where they like to jam, bro, and everybody likes them, and they could probably tour with Flaming Lips, but they're too busy jamming. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do it Fish with a P.
ahead of me. In a minute I'll be free, and you'll be splashing in the sea. We'll hear a tiny cry as the ship goes sliding by. Free.
Oh, that is just horrible to listen to. That makes my ears bleed. But finally, we've reached the penultimate. We have landed on the Everest of hate for a band and for a human being. Scott Stamp was his name, and the band was Creed.
Nope, can't take it.
That is horrible. That is just, and it was him. He was Douchapalooza. Like, that guy was the worst. He was I'm a Christian. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, really? It's just, and it was horrible. Then he had a sex tape, and he was always hammered, and he was always doing something stupid. He was like all you had to do was show him a video of David Hasselhoff on the ground trying to eat that cheeseburger and going, this is where you're going. but you don't have the talent of David Hasselhoff. So the choice is yours, Scott.
Do you know what he
Play
said
it
after
fair.
his sex tape was released?
Oh, I knew there was a sex tape. Was it actually released?
Yeah, he said this right afterwards.
Look at this photograph. Every time I
He said, my pants are wide open. Oh, please. Like, and sing with water in your mouth or whatever. But those are your worst bands of all time. And again, Nickelback, Cruel and Unusual Punishment, making drunk drivers in Canada listen to them while in the squad car being transported down to the old Pokey. Yeah.